But this whole thing's been a nightmare.
I'm more concerned about my marriage.
Here's a look ahead.
I'm happy to always help.
I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. Can you send it to Mommy?
Go. Be with your family.
You are trying to destroy his life, and there's nothing you can do about it.
The steel door clanged shut with a finality that seemed to suck all the air from the small, sterile visitation room. Luna Nozawa, once a vision of soft-spoken innocence in vibrant colors, was now a pale echo in a standard-issue gray jumpsuit. The sparkle in her eyes had been extinguished, replaced by a flat, weary sheen of despair. Across the scuffed plastic table, her aunt, Lee Finnegan, sat rigidly, her face a mask of conflicted emotions, part profound disappointment, part familial duty. "The arraignment didn't go well, Luna," Lee said, her voice tight. "The evidence is substantial. Poppy's testimony about the mints, the bottle with your fingerprints, the security footage of you near RJ's room that night. The district attorney is pushing for a quick trial and a significant sentence." Luna's hands, cuffed and resting on the table, trembled slightly. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone, Aunt Lee. I wanted to feel brave. For RJ." "Brave?" Lee's composure cracked. "Luna, you drugged him. You tampered with his father's medication. That's not bravery. That's a felony. You could be looking at years behind bars." Years. A single tear traced a path down Luna's cheek, but she quickly brushed it away. The initial shock and shame were beginning to curdle into something else, a desperate, clawing instinct for survival. She had been the quiet one, the good girl, the intern who blushed at the slightest attention. Look where that had gotten her. In a cage, her future evaporating while the Forrestas and Logans continued their dramas in their sun-drenched mansions. "I know what I did was wrong," Luna whispered, her voice gaining a sliver of steel. "But I'm not the only one who's done terrible things in the city. I'm not the only one with secrets." Lee leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. "What is that supposed to mean?" "It means," Luna said, lifting her gaze to meet her aunt's, "that if I'm going down for a mistake, then I'm not going down alone. I need you to get a message to Bill Spencer." Lee recoiled as if struck. "Bill Spencer? Luna, have you lost your mind? That man is a shark. He'll eat you alive." "Exactly," Luna said, a strange, grim smile touching her lips for the first time. "I need a shark. The public defender they assigned me is a nice man, but he's outmatched. I need someone who isn't afraid to get dirty. And Bill knows all about dirty." This was the genesis of her dirty trick. It wasn't a fully formed plan, more a desperate gambit born from a fragmented memory and a gut feeling. Months ago, while fetching coffee for the executives at Spencer Publications, she had been in Bill's office. He'd been on a heated phone call, his back to her, thinking he was alone. She'd overheard snippets, a name, a place, a date. It was about a property deal, but the language was laced with menace, a veiled threat about silencing a problem and making evidence disappear. At the time, she'd been too terrified to process it, burying it deep in her mind. Now it was her only lifeline. "What could you possibly have to offer Bill Spencer?" Lee asked, incredulous. "Leverage," Luna stated simply. "Tell him I know about the Monarch Bay acquisition. Tell him I was in his office on the morning of October 12th. He'll know what it means. And tell him if he gets me out of this, that information dies with me. If he doesn't, I'll have no choice but to share it with my lawyer and whoever else will listen, to show I'm being unfairly targeted while real criminals walk free." Lee was speechless, staring at her niece, as if seeing a stranger. The timid girl from the beach was gone, replaced by a calculating young woman forged in the crucible of incarceration. It was terrifying, but it was also the first sign of fight she'd seen in Luna since the arrest. Reluctantly, fearfully, Lee Finnegan carried the message. The atmosphere in Bill Spencer's penthouse office was as charged as a coming storm. He stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, a glass of amber whiskey in his hand, staring out at the Los Angeles skyline. He didn't turn around when Lee finished speaking. "So," Bill's voice was a low, dangerous rumble. "The little intern has teeth, and she thinks she can blackmail me. She's desperate, Bill. Lee pleaded, though she hated herself for it. She's a child. She made a terrible mistake. Bill finally turned, his eyes cold and assessing. There are no children in this game, Lee. Only players and pawns. And your niece just decided to promote herself to player. He took a slow sip of his whiskey. The Monarch Bay deal was complicated. I had to be persuasive. The details she overheard, taken out of context, could be misconstrued by people with an overdeveloped sense of morality, like the SEC. She just wants her freedom, Lee said. A slow, predatory smile spread across Bill's face. Freedom has a price. And it's not just my silence for hers. Tell her I'll take her case. I'll get her out.
But she will owe me.
A favor, to be named later. No questions asked. It was a devil's bargain and Lee knew it. But the alternative was a decade in prison. She delivered the terms to Luna. From his cell, a new Luna was emerging. She agreed, without hesitation. The dirty trick was now in motion. Bill Spencer, true to his word, assembled a legal team that moved with ruthless efficiency. They filed motions to suppress evidence, arguing the mints were taken without a proper warrant. They attacked Poppy's credibility, digging into her own checkered past and her relationship with the powerful Forresters, painting her as an unreliable, hysterical mother. They argued that Luna, a young, impressionable girl, was a victim herself of a negligent mother and the overwhelming pressure of the Forrester world. But the masterstroke, the truly dirty part of the trick, came during the pre-trial hearings. Bill's lead attorney, a sharp, intimidating woman named Isabel Rossi, stood before the judge. Your Honor, we have reason to believe that key evidence in this case has been tampered with. Specifically, the prescription bottle belonging to Eric Forrester. A ripple went through the courtroom. Ridge Forrester, sitting behind the prosecution, stiffened. Steffi, who had come to see justice done, leaned forward, her eyes blazing. This is a baseless accusation, Your Honor, the prosecutor objected. We have a witness, Rossi said smoothly. A member of the Forrester Creations security staff who was on duty the night of the incident. He is prepared to testify that he saw Ms. Steffi Forniter handling the bottle in the aftermath, before it was logged into evidence by the LAPD. It was a brilliant, audacious lie. The witness was a former Spencer Publications security chief, now on Bill's payroll, ready to swear under oath to a complete fabrication. The implication was clear. Steffi, in her rage over what happened to her brother, had contaminated the evidence to ensure a conviction. The judge, furious, called a recess. In the hallway, chaos erupted. This is insane. Steffi seethed, confronting Bill. You're lying. You're going to suborn perjury to get that criminal back on the street. Bill gave her a chillingly calm smile. I'm simply ensuring my client gets a fair trial, Steffi. If the evidence is tainted, then there is no case. It's called reasonable doubt. Ridge stepped in, his voice a low growl. Spencer, I know what you're doing. You're trying to destroy my family to save your client. Your family seems perfectly capable of destroying itself, Ridge, Bill retorted. I'm just capitalizing on the mess. The prosecution's case, once a solid fortress, was now showing cracks. The prospect of dragging Steffi Forrester, a pillar of the community, through the mud on the stand, of having to defend against allegations of evidence tampering, was a public relations nightmare they didn't want. The district attorney, a pragmatic politician, saw the headlines already. Forrester heiress frames innocent in turn? It was a disaster. A deal was offered. The charges would be reduced to a single misdemeanor of unlawful possession of a prescription drug. Time served. Probation. Mandatory counseling. Luna would walk out of the courthouse a free woman, with a record that could eventually be expunged. The day Luna was released, the sky was an impossibly bright, mocking blue. She walked out of the courthouse, squinting in the sunlight, flanked by Bill Spencer and a stoic Lee Finnegan. A scrum of reporters shouted questions, their cameras flashing. She didn't smile. She didn't look triumphant. She simply kept her head down, allowing Bill to guide her to a waiting black town car. Once inside, the silence was thick and heavy. Well, Bill said, breaking the quiet. You're free. I held up my end of the bargain. Luna looked out the window as the car pulled away from the curb, leaving the nightmare of the justice system behind. I know. Don't forget, you now belong to me, Bill said, his tone conversational, but his meaning absolute. That favor I'm owed? I'll be calling it in. And when I do, you will not hesitate. Luna finally turned to look at him. The innocence was gone, burned away in the fire of her ordeal. In its place was a cool, hardened resolve. She had played a dirty trick, used blackmail and a manufactured lie to escape her fate. She had learned the #1 rule of survival in Los Angeles. In a world of sharks, you either become prey, or you grow sharper teeth. I understand, Mr. Spencer, she said, her voice steady. I won't hesitate. As the car merged into the LA traffic, Luna Nozawa was no longer the victim, the intern, or the prisoner. She was a new variable in the city's endless equation of power, betrayal, and beauty. She had gotten away with her dirty trick, but the cost was a piece of her soul and a debt to a devil that would one day come due. Her freedom was won, but her war was just beginning. Beyond a Gate spoilers for the week of October 20th to 24th note that the Bold and the Beautifuls, B&B, Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., will arrive in Fairmont Crest, while newbie Isaiah Hawthorne, David Lamy Freeb, shares sparks with Eva Thomas, Amber Michelle. Plus, Haley Hamilton's Marquita Goings plan pivots, so it's time to talk about what drama will unravel on the soap over the next 5 days. First off, Ridge will appear on the Friday, October 24th episode and share scenes with Danny Dupree, Carla Mosley. Added BTG teasers hint that Danny will have an update for Ridge, so could it be possible that her new modeling agency will sign a deal with Forrester Creations? Only time will tell. Across town, Beyond the Gates fans will finally see Isaiah, Jacob Hawthorne's Jiber Horges, debut during the Wednesday, October 22nd show. He'll have a sizzling interaction with Eva as the two flirt up a storm at Uptown. From the looks of the weekly preview, Isaiah seems far different from his straight and narrow older brother, so could there be conflict between the two siblings upon Isaiah's arrival? As the October 24th episode hits, Jacob will be completely caught off guard by an unexpected encounter. Is it that he sees his brother in town? Maybe Isaiah won't give Jacob a heads up about visiting. Maybe the two don't talk at this point, so fans will have to see what the story is behind the Hawthorne brothers. Elsewhere, it looks like Catherine Kat Richardson, Colby Muhammad, will continue her steamy encounters with Tomas Navarro, Alex Alegria, next week. BTG spoilers suggest that Kat will feel guilty after a hot night with Tomas, leaves him in a ton of discomfort. Yikes. Tom Kat are on track where their romance is concerned, but will this set them back? Meanwhile, another hot and heavy couple will be highlighted during the week of October 20th to 24th when Vanessa McBride, Lauren Buglioli, issues a challenge to Joey Armstrong, John Lindstrom. Will this be a bedroom or business challenge? In related news, Vanessa and Donnell McBride, Alex Cheeks, will have a major blowout regarding the young man's future. Speaking of Joey, as the week progresses, he'll present an intriguing, yet unusual, proposal for the Duprees. What kind of offer will Joey present to the Dupree family? This is interesting since earlier in the week, Vernon Dupree, Clifton Davis, will hide secrets from Anita Dupree, Tamara Tooney. It's not like Vernon to do this, so here's hoping he's keeping a romantic surprise covered up for his wife and not lying to her about an old affair or something along those lines. While on the topic of cheating and lying husbands, BTG spoilers tease that Nicole Richardson, Daphne Duplay, and Ted Richardson, Keith D. Robinson, could solidify their reunion. Still, how will Leslie Thomas, Trisha Mangrant feel about this, and will she concoct a scheme to stop this from happening? Beyond the Gate spoilers for the week of October 20th indicate that Chelsea Hamilton, Ronnie Rose Montia, will take a situation into her own hands. Is this about Allison, Brianna Roberts? Here's hoping the unhinged woman has given up on stalking Chelsea in prison, but that is unlikely. In addition, Bradley Smitty Smith, Mike Manning, and Martin Richardson, Brandon Claiborne, will bask in the aftermath of their vow renewal ceremony, but there could be drama up ahead. It looks like June, Jasmine Burke, will provide Tyrell Richardson, Jaden Lucas Miller, with some words of wisdom, and as Smitty has an issue with June inserting herself in his kids' lives, there might be trouble ahead for the newly reunited family. Finally, Haley will come up with a new plan to score what she wants. During the week of October 13th to 17th, BTG fans were floored when they found out that Haley and Randy Parker, Maurice P. Carey, were cousins. The two were scheming to drain Bill Hamilton's time and Durrett bank accounts, the real reason she married the lawyer, and this is a play they've done for years now, with other men. Still, Haley had an epiphany last week and decided that Bill would be her last duped rich husband, and she wanted to go out with a bang for her retirement. Haley schemed to poison Bill and snag the $10 million life insurance policy he created for her. Unfortunately, she poisoned a cupcake that Nomi Hawthorne Ariel Prepati almost consumed, so it sounds like Haley will go back to the drawing board and come up with a different fatal plan for Bill. Beyond the Gates spoilers for October 20th to 24th imply some explosive moments and must-see episodes coming down the pipeline, so it's a week fans won't want to miss. The Bold and the Beautiful, BNB. Spoilers update for the week of October 20th to 24th reveals that Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, will finally join all the Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, drama while Carter Waltons, Lawrence St. Victor, love life brings questions. After Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, makes her way back to Los Angeles with the kids, John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin will be thrilled. Of course, Steffi's return will also mean it's time for her to get updates on all the Luna chaos that's been playing out. Once Steffi realizes Luna is alive and has been wreaking more havoc, she'll stand her ground. Steffi will make it clear that she has no intention of letting Luna